And now for a Next News special report.
Tonight, a political earthquake rocks America as former President Donald Trump is found guilty on all counts in his Manhattan so-called hush money trial. The jury's verdict sends shockwaves through the nation, with Democrats celebrating and labeling Trump as a convicted felon. As Trump defiantly responds, calling the trial rigged, and his supporters rally around him, the implications for the 2024 election are nothing short of seismic. But there is more to the story than meets the eye. And just like how the Trump trial has exposed the scorching heat of political persecution, many Americans are facing their own heat waves in the form of soaring AC bills. Shockingly, 20 million households are behind in their power bills, with some companies reporting a staggering 13 million in uncollected payments. But there is a solution. This magical AC unit that can make any room icy cold in minutes and slash your bills. It's a potential lifesaver during blackouts and pays for itself in just 1 month. Beat the greedy utility companies by visiting easysummercool.com or clicking the link below for up to 60% off today with a 60-day risk-free guarantee and fast USA shipping. Now back to our story. In a New York courtroom, a jury has found former President Donald Trump guilty on all 34 counts in his so-called hush money trial. The verdict, delivered after weeks of intense legal battles, has sent shockwaves throughout the American political landscape. Democrats and the media have wasted no time in labeling Trump a convicted felon, while his supporters decry the trial as a politically motivated witch hunt. Now, taking a look at these tweets, the reactions to the verdict have been swift and polarized. Donald Trump Jr. slammed the decision, calling it a clear case of election interference and a rigged trial. Meanwhile, the Biden campaign has celebrated the conviction, claiming that it proves Trump is unfit for office. And when asked about Trump referring to himself as a political prisoner and blaming Biden directly, the president simply smiled and walked away. See this.
Mr. President, can you tell us, sir, Donald Trump refers to himself as a political prisoner and blames you directly. What's your response to that, sir? Do you think the conviction will have an impact on the campaign? We'd love to hear your thoughts, sir.
Should he be on the ballot, sir?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Look at that face. He knows exactly what he has done. Now, CNN's Jake Tapper went on air and said the former president of the United States is a convicted felon. Watch.
Guilty. Donald Trump found guilty on all 34 counts of falsifying business records in the first degree. All 34 are felonies. Donald Trump has now been convicted of 34 different felony crimes by a jury of his peers in Manhattan. 34 felony charges for former President Donald J. Trump, convicted of 34 felony charges having to do with falsifying business records to cover up hush money payments to Stormy Daniels. An unbelievable moment in American history. The jurors are now being asked about their agreement with these charges, and they are responding yes. Trump has a frowned expression on his face as the verdict reading is completed. He is not moving. The former president of the United States, now a convicted felon, having been found guilty of 34 felony charges by a jury of his peers in Manhattan, New York. The court.
News reports, live reporting the guilty counts, flooded the airwaves. Let's go back to that historic moment.
Some of the verdicts coming in. It is quickly coming in here. From inside, we are starting to hear that there are guilty. There are guilty verdicts. From our producer inside, we're hearing guilty on 1 through 5. 1 through 12, we have now 13, 14 guilty. 15 guilty. You may hear there are a split of folks here who have been protesting on both sides of this case. Some cheer, some boos. as we are now getting the information from the jury. We're up to 18 counts, 19 guilty. Remember, we have 34 here, 20 guilty. And again, these counts were very similar, what they were looking at. It was different occurrences, essentially, of the same crime, a misdemeanor that was elevated by being linked to a felony, to an underlying crime. We are now 24 counts in, all guilty from inside. This is what we are hearing from our producers, up to 26 guilty. Now, remember, each of these counts could maximum have 4 years in jail. President Trump would be considered a first-time offender. These are non-violent crimes. So it seems that it is unlikely the judge would sentence him to prison, but we are now up to 31 counts guilty out of 34. 32 guilty, also coming in from inside the courtroom. Our producers now saying 33 and 34. They're saying guilty on all 34 charges.
Sad day for America. Now, Trump himself has responded defiantly, vowing to fight and win the ultimate verdict from the American people in November in the election. In a press conference, he stated, "This is bigger than Trump. This is bigger than me. This is bigger than my presidency." Watch.
So the whole thing is legal expense was marked down as legal expense. Think of it. This is the crime that I committed, that I'm supposed to go to jail for 187 years for. When you have violent crime all over this city at levels that nobody's ever seen before, where you have businesses leaving, and businesses are leaving because of this, because heads of businesses say, man, we don't want to get involved with that. I could go through the books of any business person in this city, and I could find things that, in theory, I guess, let's indict him, let's destroy his life. But I'm out there, and I don't mind being out there because I'm doing something for this country, and I'm doing something for our Constitution. It's very important, far beyond me. And this can't be allowed to happen to other presidents. It should never be allowed to happen in the future. But this is far beyond me. This is bigger than Trump. This is bigger than me. This is bigger than my presidency.
Yesterday, following the verdict, Trump passionately expressed his belief that America is no longer the country that it once was, painting a grim picture of a nation divided and in severe decline, claiming that countless individuals from prisons, mental institutions, even terrorists are flooding into the country and taking control. Watch.
This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a Soros-backed DA, and the whole thing. We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent. And I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end, and we'll win, because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now, from prisons and from mental institutions, terrorists, and they're taking over our country. We have a country that's in big trouble. But this was a rigged decision right from day one, with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
As the dust settles on this historic verdict, the nation is left grappling with its implications. Is this a triumph of justice or a dangerous politicization of our legal system? Will this conviction derail Trump's 2024 presidential aspirations, or will it galvanize his base and fuel the narrative of persecution? These are the questions we must confront as a republic. The ultimate verdict on this trial and its impact on our republic will be delivered not in the courtroom, but at the ballot box in November. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. My fellow Americans, the guilty verdict in Donald Trump's trial is not the end of the story, but rather the beginning of a new chapter in our nation's history. Will we allow our legal system to be weaponized for political gain, or will we stand firm in our principles of justice and fairness? The true verdict will be rendered by you, the American people, as you make your voices heard at the ballot box in November.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.